VGC is the official competitive format supported by the Pokémon Company, and the way that they do bans is purely based off if a Pokémon checks a certain box. Is it mythical? Banned. Is it a restricted legendary? Banned. Now obviously there are times where these Pokémon are allowed, but still only in limited amounts. Because of the really black and white way that VGC does bans, there are quite a few Pokémon that would be totally fine in regular competitive play if they weren't banned. So in this video, I want to take a look at mythical and restricted legendary Pokémon that I think would be balanced if they were allowed in non-restricted formats such as Reg F. By balanced, I mean that they would be good in the meta but wouldn't break the game, so Pokémon that wouldn't be good at all, like Cosmog and Fione, or that would be really good, like Arceus and Magearna, will not be included. First, we have Manaphy. Manaphy is one of 6 mythicals with 100 stats across the board, and one of the ones that I think would be quite balanced. It's a pure water type with the ability Hydration and has a very unique move pool. There's 3 not quite signature but very limited distribution status moves that Manaphy gets to give it some really cool uses. Take Heart is basically Calm Mind plus a full heal, meaning that it boosts special attack and special defense by 1 stage and heals the user's status condition if it has one. Calm Mind is already a solid move, so healing a status condition on top of that is a great bonus. Heart Swap switches the stat changes of the user and the target. Imagine using this to steal the stat changes from a boosted Dondozo, which Manaphy should comfortably be able to do since it's a water type and walls Dondozo's water moves. Tailglow boosts the user's special attack stat by 3 stages, one of the only moves in the game to boost any stat by 3 stages. Other supporting options include Fake Tears, Charm, Haze, Helping Hand, Icy Wind, and both screens. For its attacking options, it actually kept Scald, unlike pretty much every other water type that had Scald taken away from them. It also gets Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, Energy Ball, Ice Beam, and Psychic, all of which would make for great coverage options. I could see Manaphy being used as a setup attacker with Tailglow, or a more defensive setup mon since it gets Acid Armor and Take Heart as I mentioned, which could also be paired with Stored Power to deal massive damage after some boosts. Next, we have Terastal form Terapagos. Terapagos is the main legendary of the Indigo Disc DLC and is the source of the Terastal phenomenon in lore. It has 3 forms, Normal, Terastal, and Stellar, and is locked into being a Stellar Terra type. It also has 3 abilities, 1 for each form, Terra Shift, Terra Shell, and Terraform 0. It goes from normal form into Terastal form as soon as it's sent in battle, and goes from Terastal form into Stellar form when it terastalizes. And that's the catch. Terapagos has to terastalize to activate its strongest form, and without that, it has a base stat total of 600, which is good, but it's on par with pseudo-legendary Pokemon that aren't banned. Its highest stat is both defenses at 110, its special attack is 105, and its speed is 85. It has a good ability and good setup options with Calm Mind and Rock Polish, but without Terra, it doesn't get any boost to its stats, and its signature move is always just a single target normal type move, which is still strong since it's 120 base power and 100% accurate with no drawback, but very manageable. It has fantastic coverage options, getting a solid special attacking move for almost every type in the game, but it's coming off of a 105 base special attack stat. In Gen 9 National Dex, Terapagos is allowed after the Terra ban, showing that this form is quite balanced. In VGC, its ability, setup, stab, and coverage options would make it quite good, but its middling special attack and speed, mono normal typing, and lack of spread damage would keep it from being an overwhelming threat. Next, we have Diancie. Diancie is a rock fairy type, which is a good typing because of fairy, but not great because of rock. It's built very defensively with a speed stat of 50, tying with relevant Trick Room mons like Calyrex Ice, Iron Hands, Ursaluna, and King Gambit. Unlike 3 of those mons, Diancie actually gets Trick Room, so it doesn't have to rely on an ally to set the field condition for it. Diancie also gets a pretty nutty signature move Diamond Storm, which is 100 base power, 95% accurate, spread damage, non-contact, and has a 50% chance to raise its defense by 2 stages. With Diancie's high base 150 defense, its body presses will be hitting very hard after potentially just 1 use of Diamond Storm. Put it on a sand team and it has boosts to both of its defenses and threatening attacking options without even needing a status move to raise its stats. If you wanted a status move to raise its stats, it gets Iron Defense, Amnesia, and Calm Mind, and remember, it can't have its stats lowered since it has Clear Body. Since it likes to function in Trick Room, it will probably be using a speed lowering nature, which means that it won't have one of its attacking stats lowered, allowing for the flexibility of going mixed without lowering a desired stat. We've already mentioned its main physical move Diamond Storm, but it also has the special moves Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, Draining Kiss, Earth Power, and Flash Cannon, increasing its variety of options even more. Next, we have 50% form Aura Break Zygarde. Like Terapagos, this is another form-changing Pokemon that starts out at base 600 and changes form during battle to increase its stats. This form change is tied to one of Zygarde's abilities though, Power Construct, and without that, it just has Aura Break. For this video, I'm discussing how these Pokemon would function in a non-restricted format, so the two Pokemon with the abilities that Aura Break affects, Xerneas and Yveltal, are banned. That means that for this hypothetical, Zygarde is essentially playing without an ability. That's not always a bad thing though, since that makes it a good partner to Weezing since it neutralizes all abilities. Now it might seem that 50% form Aura Break Zygarde is just a worse Garchomp, but Zygarde has 3 moves that really carry its viability: Dragon Dance, 1000 Arrows, and 1000 Waves. Dragon Dance makes its average 100 attack and 95 speed actually quite good, and 1000 Arrows is just one of the best attacking moves in the game period. It hits both opponents in a double battle, doesn't hit your ally, doesn't make contact, hits flying types and levitators for neutral damage, and knocks them down to the ground for as long as they're on the battlefield. This means that only bug and grass types can resist it, 2 types that share 2 weaknesses, flying and fire. Pair Zygarde with Heatwave Volcarona or Bleak Windstorm Tornadus and you have pretty perfect type coverage. 1000 Waves traps opponents, so you could use this on a Perish Song team as an alternative to Shadow Tag Gothitelle. Without consistent physical Dragon Stab and not many great coverage options, Zygarde can kinda feel like a 1, maybe 2 trick pony, but those 1 or 2 tricks are very good. If you think this is too good, let's go with Zygarde's 10% form instead. Next, we have Genesect. Genesect is the only bug-type mythical Pokemon, which isn't a great type on its own, but it was lucky enough to have also been given the powerful Steel typing. Bug Steel is one of the best defensive combos in the game, as it only has 1 4x weakness to fire. It has mixed attacking stats, which actually works well with its mixed attacking ability, Download, which grants a +1 attack or special attack boost depending on which stat of the opposing side is lower. For physical stab, it has Leech Life and Iron Head with Blaze Kick, Shadow Ball, Gunk Shot, and Zen Headbutt for coverage. For special stab, it has Bug Buzz and Flash Cannon with Dark Pulse, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Giga Drain, Ice Beam, and Psychic for coverage. Its signature move Technoblast is pretty gimmicky since it requires Genesect to hold an item for the type of the move to change, but it is still an option if you want a 120 base power, 100% accurate, special attacking electric, fire, ice, or water type move. Out of those, water is probably the best option since it's the only type that Genesect doesn't already have a move for. Genesect isn't in Gen 9, so I'm assuming that it won't be able to keep any of its good transfer moves like Shift Gear and Extreme Speed, but we do still have the attacking moves Flame Charge and Fell Stinger that it learns through Level Up, which could function as setup moves, with U-Turn being great for utility. With its great options on the physical and special side, pretty good stats, and great typing, Genesect would be quite good in VGC. Next, we have base form Kyurem. Like the other 2 restricted legendaries I mentioned, Kyurem has 3 forms, and this one is its weakest. It has a base stat total of 660, with both attacking stats being high at 130. It has the ability Pressure, which is quite useless in doubles, and has access to Dragon Dance if it wants to go physical, with decent physical stab options of Icicle Spear and Scale Shot, which pairs well with the loaded dice. If you're going to use a physical attacking Ice Dragon type with Dragon Dance, Icicle Spear, and Scale Shot though, you'd probably rather use Baxcalibur with its higher attack, comparable bulk, and better ability, something that I mentioned in my non-legendary Pokemon that are better than legendaries video. So it would probably want to be used as a special attacker, and some of the good special moves it gets are Ice Beam, Blizzard, Freeze Dry, Dragon Pulse, Draco Meteor, Earth Power, Shadow Ball, Psychic, and Flash Cannon. Its signature move Glaciate is just a better version of Icy Wind since it has 10 higher base power, and Icy Wind is already a decent move. In doubles OU, Kyurem likes to use the Assault Vest to boost its special defense and be paired with Alolan Ninetales, which sets up Snow to boost both of their physical defense stats to make Kyurem quite bulky and hard to remove. Perfectly accurate blizzards from a 130 base special attack stat is nothing to scoff at, especially when you have Freeze Dry to hit water for super effective and Earth Power to hit steel and fire for super effective. Next we have Volcanion. Volcanion doesn't have the best base stat distribution in the world, but really any distribution of 600 is going to be at least decent. It's the only fire-water type in the game, which already gives it a unique use as a Pokemon that can comfortably function in both rain and sun, something that pretty much only Walking Wake can do. It gets Water Absorb, which hard walls Urshifu's Surging Strikes and any of Kyogre's water-type moves. It gets one of the best water-type moves in the game, Steam Eruption, which is literally just a better Hydro Pump since it has the same base power, same PP, but 15 higher accuracy and a 30% chance to burn. Like Manaphy, Volcanion also gets Scald if you value higher accuracy and more PP. It also gets all the good special fire moves, Heat Wave, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, Overheat, Flame Charge, and Fire Spin. With its decent HP, high defense, and above average special defense, I could see it being used as a bulky, versatile Assault Vest attacker that spreads burns with Steam Eruption and possibly even Heat Wave too. It gets great coverage options with Earth Power, Solar Beam, Sludge Bomb, and Flash Cannon, which can be used to hit almost all of the types that resist fire and water for super effective. Its base 70 speed means that it could work at either Tailwind or Trick Room, and if you don't use the Assault Vest on it, it has some decent status moves like Haze, Taunt, and Will-O-Wisp. Lastly, we have Zeraora. Zeraora is basically if Iron Hands and Dragapult had a baby. Like all of the Pokemon on this list except for Kyurem, Zeraora has a base stat total of 600 with a really high speed stat of 143, one of the highest in the game. It's a pure electric type with the ability Volt Absorb, and it has quite a few good moves that I think would make it a great pick in VGC. It gets Fake Out, which is just one of the best moves in the game, and it actually has the highest speed stat of any Fake Out user. It gets Plasma Fists, which is a super consistent physical electric move at 100 base power and 100 accuracy, something that's in very short supply, and something that many physical attacking electric types would kill for. Plasma Fist also has the secondary effect that it changes all normal type moves into electric type moves for the remainder of the turn, which might sound underwhelming at first, but when you realize that Zeraora has Volt Absorb and has high speed to be the first one to move, it could potentially use this to absorb a normal type move from an opponent. For coverage, it gets a whole bunch of fighting type moves, Play Rough, Fire Punch, and Acrobatics. It can pivot with Volt Switch, control damage with Snarl, paralyze opponents with Thunder Wave, boost its ally with Helping Hand and Coaching, and has one of the fastest non-prankster taunts, which is arguably better sometimes because of how common priority blockers are these days. And those are Pokemon that are typically banned that would be balanced if they were allowed in non-restricted VGC formats. I left out quite a few mons that I thought were more borderline, such as Jirachi, Mew, Pecharunt, Victini, Base Form Necrozma, and Shaman Sky, either because I thought that they were not good enough or a little too good. Definitely let me know if you think that they would be balanced, or if there were any other mythical or restricted legendary Pokemon I missed. Anyway, if you want to support me and my channel, just leave a nice comment since I do read all comments. You can also become a member for 99 US cents a month to get a badge next to your name and early video access like all of these lovely people. If you want bonus content, check out my second channel Extra Bell, where I post videos I've scrapped from the main channel, as well as more casual, unscripted videos. Likes are also one of the ways that YouTube determines if a video should be passed around to more people, so if you feel that this video deserves to be, I would appreciate it. Thanks for watching.